Welcome back to Marketing Champions here in Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpoff, your host. Again, we're talking about marketing with marketing experts from around the country. Today, we're in Lubbock, Texas with Preston Wickersham of Remote. And Preston, welcome to our conversation today.
Thanks for having me, Howard. Glad to be here.
Well, we're very glad to have you here and excited to hear a lot more about the things you're currently doing. But let's start with how you got started in the marketing industry.
Of course, yeah. I started actually in journalism, working at the newspaper. Unusually, I was the obituaries editor for quite a while. Moved into reporting, and then, of course, moved into technology marketing, into SaaS, and then ended up where I am now, where I'm leading the editorial functions at Remote.
Well, you definitely got your writing experience starting with your first assignments, and just being in the newspaper industry is a great way to work on those writing and obviously content skills. So with Remote, tell us about your day-to-day and the things you're doing to help promote the company.
Of course, yeah. So Remote is in an interesting position. So what we do is we provide global HR services for businesses looking to hire, onboard, manage, pay employees in other countries. And so we offer these services in dozens of countries all over the world. So if you wanted to hire a software engineer in South Africa, or a designer in India, or a collection of all these different things, all these different people, that's what we do. And so whenever we create content, what we're thinking about always is a global audience, right? So we're talking about creating content regarding, and I'm talking podcasts, webinars, gated content pieces, anything in between that you could possibly think of, any type or format of content that's related to paying and managing international employees. So what I do is I kind of protect our brand voice. I make sure that we're having the right conversations in the right places, in the right ways, covering the right content. I was the first marketing hire at Remote under our VP of Growth. Back when we were only a small company of about 20 people, and today we have over 900 employees in more than 60 countries. So it's quite a challenge, but it's a lot of fun making sure that you're having all these conversations and trying to keep all these different legal and HR conversations compliant and accurate in so many different places, and making sure that you're always, of course, serving the audience and making sure that the audience is getting the accurate and reliable information that they need whenever they're talking about hiring internationally.
Well, it's definitely a big balancing act that you are serving in that capacity. The content is so key and important, but there are obviously different ways that you're doing it and different people that you're trying to communicate with, and the compliance part definitely keeps you on your toes, I'm sure, at times. What do you see as some of the future implementations that you're working on to make sure that this messaging is going out and the Remote story is being told?
Yeah, so one of the things that's really interesting right now, and I'm sure you've had this conversation with several other people, is kind of the shift away from traditional inbound and content marketing over into sort of more media functionality, where more businesses are becoming media organizations. So you see this, HubSpot is a prime example, of course. They're the inbound marketing, emperor of the world, and you see a lot of the media consumption that people are getting more into right now. And this is a driving function of this is that. And especially all the performance marketers in the audience will know this very well, is we're seeing a lot of pushback on things like third-party cookies. We're seeing a lot of pushback from social media sites in their audience ownership. We're seeing all these different ways in which audiences are being owned by platforms. These platforms are exercising greater control over what their audiences can do, what their audiences are seeing, and these platforms are managing this very closely. But what businesses are looking now toward more are communities, are creating and owning their own communities, these proprietary areas in which they have a say in what that journey looks like for every user who comes to their website, where they are more in tune with what that whole, from first touch to conversion and enjoyment and experience and beyond. All of this media organization is really pressing on inbound marketing as a whole. And so what we're looking at is a lot of future pieces on how are we going to continue to provide high quality, reliable, great content, but in a way that allows us to own more of that audience experience, that allows us to get a little deeper into that and to see more of how we're delighting and staying transparent with that and owning, again, more of that journey.
Well, it definitely will give you a lot to work on, because having these types of communities and then providing them with this varying content that keeps them interactive really is It's a big job, but it's a rewarding job because it really does give you the control to get the kind of results you're looking for. So we're very excited to see the results of what you put out and develop with this, and how remote grows because of it. And we thank you so much for joining us and sharing everything that you're doing with the company right now.
Of course, I'm glad to be here, and thank you so much for having me and having this conversation.
And thank you all for joining us as well. Having a good plan of what's next, how do you engage your people better, and that you have a sense of control over it as well as you're getting that engagement back and forth, really is a tall task, but one that really forward-thinking companies can do and are doing, such as remote right now, to make sure that they're growing their business in the bigger picture. So there's a lot more information about remote here on Daily Ad Brief, so please check that out. But go and have a great rest of today, and we'll see you next time on Marketing Champions.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.